Thanks everybody for joining us today. It's been a couple of months since we made a video, and we wanted to kind of share some new things today. Our friends Brian and Esther Henry are here with us today.
Hello.
And we have been friends with them now for about 6 months, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we just fell in love with them, and their story is amazing, and we wanted to share it with y'all. So Brian and Esther, he was an ordained minister for 25 years. They were missionaries for 12 years and on a couple of different continents. And they started 3 Bible schools. They left the organization about 6 years ago. About 6 years ago. Esther, if you would just kind of give us a little rundown, a brief synopsis of kind of how you grew up in it, and I'll just however you want to lead that story.
Hi, I'm Esther. I grew up in the UPC. I have big PK written across my chest. My dad is a pastor. My grandfather's a pastor. My brother-in-law's a pastor. My brother was a pastor. My second and third generation UPC on both sides of the family, and my uncles were pastors, and you name it. My whole life, that's all I've ever known. The first church service I ever went to, I was 3 weeks old. Went to my first camp meeting. I slept in my little baby carrier under the seat. Yeah, didn't know anything else till about 6 years ago.
And Brian, you were?
I was in the military. I was not raised in church. In the military is when I came into the church. It was in '84. Quickly felt a calling on my life to be a missionary. Went to Bible college, met her, and I was all in, bought everything hook, line, and sinker. My challenge was I was a rational thinker, so I never really ascribed to a lot of the crazy stuff. I always told people I don't have a hand-me-down Holiness baggage because I'm just a free thinker, which is not a good thing if you're a part of that group. So we met in Bible college. We got married. We went overseas to Papua New Guinea. We were there for 10 years. We saw 100 new works established. We were ordained at World Evangelism Center by Brother Urshon. And we were just living our life, living our dreams, loving people, and just doing what we knew to do. Started schools, very much a works-based. I figured if I could do a lot, then maybe God would be pleased with me. I didn't want to stand behind Mother Teresa and hearing God judge her and say, but you've never done enough for me, so I'm thinking I better do something big and notable and reach countries and all that stuff. So we did that, and then we ended up being the dean of students at a college in California, and then we pastored in Wisconsin. By that time, we were pretty much already out in terms of our thoughts, and we weren't in the same page with what the denomination was doing. So the transition for us out was very difficult and very challenging. Still been a journey for us, because I based my whole identity on that, and my whole sense of approval really wasn't from God. It was from validation from others that are incapable of validating anything but themselves. So that's the quick synopsis.
That's really, really interesting, because we've found that happens with a lot of people, that it's so person-based. What would you say was your first inkling that something is seriously wrong? Without naming names, we're not here to.
My first inkling happened even in Bible school. There was a group that had gathered together in Bakersfield area, the PSR conference, and we always called it the Pharisee and Sadducee revival.
Yeah, that was fun.
They were all radicals, radical holiness people. I was never a part of that. We were more of the merger to me was a failure, because there was 2 groups. One was radical holiness. The other was more letting people come and loving people. They stressed the message, but not right away. The churches that I were connected with, it was never about being baptized right away. It was, we'd like you to be baptized when you feel ready. We're ready.
Now we are.
Okay.
Now we're
So what I was curious to know, and I think that people that are joining in, because we have a lot of people that they're in the process of leaving.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten recently connections with some pastors that are leaving. So what was the biggest and most, like, what was the biggest, go through that a little bit and what that looked like, the hurdle of being a pastor and having that your whole...
When we were pastoring, we were missional pastors. We viewed ourselves as missionaries to our community. We were there to love our community, be a part of our community, be connected to our community. The church that we were pastoring, the superintendent was a control freak. And we kind of saw the warning signs, but kind of thought it would never happen to us because we were veteran missionaries and all of that.
We swept it under the rug,
Kind of
the
denial.
Yeah.
And so we began to just pastor with our philosophy of loving people and just doing what we did overseas so successfully. And then we just saw the former pastor who was a district superintendent. He never left our city, quickly withdrew his support, him and his family, and then used his position to influence the church. Again, we were like, this will never happen to us. But our tipping point was when we lost everything. The church initiated a vote of confidence for us to try to oust us, which we amazingly won. The superintendent and former pastor was neck deep in those deliberations, in the meetings, never recused himself. We still won the vote of confidence, but then his supporters ended up walking out on us. We lost half of the church. It literally broke my heart. I told him later he would have been kinder to me if he had murdered me. I still feel that way. So we, in this paper, the book that she authored, all those things, none of those things mattered. The Henrys they don't think like us, they don't control people, therefore they don't love people, therefore they must be destroyed. After all that happened, we got a call from a missionary friend about going back to the Pacific to start a school, be involved in a school. That's what I do, right? So we thought, well, we gave these people everything they wanted to. We knew what happened was dirty and wrong, but we absconded. We gave them their church back. So we met the district board in Wisconsin. I'll let you know that because they were horribly corrupt, and I hope the world knows that, actually. And we walked into a buzzsaw. It was not a Christian gathering at all. It was there, let's feast on the Henrys for dinner. They interviewed us. We were the same way we're talking right now.
I wouldn't call it an interview, I'd call it an interrogation.
An interrogation and ambush.
And the thing is because we were applying to become missionaries again, because we were ordained ministers and pastoring, headquarters required the district to say okay and approve the process of the application. We thought they probably would because they ousted us as pastor. We have nothing to do, nowhere to go. We might as well go back into missions and, So the district secretary at the time, he's now retired, but he met Brian for breakfast just the day before or a couple days before we had that meeting. And he said, now, Brother Henry, I want you to know that this meeting with the board is strictly to approve or disapprove or talk about your missionary application. This has nothing to do with what happened to you and your, in the church in Wisconsin. We're not going to go there. This is just, don't worry about it. This is just an interview for your missionary application.
And all they did was
We walked into there and we walked into an ambush, and they interrogated us for an hour and a half.
We went
about
tears.
what happened to us, why did we do XYZ, and the former pastor, who should have recused himself but he didn't, said he, quote, recused himself, but he sat there in that board meeting like this the whole time. Kept his mouth shut and just sat there and listened to all. Yeah. It was an ambush. They lied to us big time.
But we were still just,
We answered their questions, yeah.
And
did what we could.
then they got back with us and they said, actually, we decided to not appoint you, that you should sit under a pastor for a year to learn what it's like to be a God-called man and to learn servant leadership. And that just destroyed us. That was like, I've been doing this for 25 years. We started 100 churches in Papua New Guinea. And, that was the part where
We didn't
like,
understand it. We honestly just
We're
didn't
done.
get it. We did not understand it.
And I was thinking if I was in their position and I was doing nefarious stuff like that, I would
Want the
Get
Henrys
these-
out of the hair.
get them out of the country, get them off to
Yeah.
some little tropical island and forget about them. That would be the smart thing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think the UPC is pretty good at smarts. I think they capitalize more on people's ignorance and blind obedience.
Yeah.
I hate to say it,
Control.
they
It's
capitalize
control,
on mine
yeah.
and control.
And they did capitalize on ours, just our denial. You know, we didn't really defend ourselves or stand up for ourselves like we should have.
Trying to be Christian.
If
we trained to try to be Christian.
Here's the caveat: if we defended ourselves, well, you're being defensive,
Yeah.
and if we don't, well, then you must have
We-
done something wrong.
Or we're
Damned if you
attacking.
do, or damned
Or
if you don't.
why are you attacking us when I would give a rebuttal?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So-
we couldn't win. It was
so,
a no-win situation.
It was sad because I never thought that we had adopted a girl into our life. We had so much going on. But
And you know, the thing is though, after it's been a long,
long
journey.
journey.
Yep.
But we are happier now. We still don't know what the future holds. We don't go to church anywhere.
But we have so much
Um,
peace. There's no more anxiety revolved around church. No anxiety. I mean,
Do you guys find that your relationship has improved?
oh,
Massively.
yeah,
We had a
for
strong
sure.
marriage that
We
became
did.
stronger.
yeah,
We've been married 30 years.
30 years,
We've always been together. I mean, literally together.
24/7.
24/7. And now that I'm working for the government, I miss our schedule. She's away on weekends for her job. My greatest joy is for us being home together. So we are still looking forward to that chapter. Appreciate your prayers, by the way, those of you that may watch this, because we don't know a thing. We just know that we're
just
better
here
off
where
than we
are.
were.
We're on the journey still.
And I think God had to use extreme measures to get us out because I let my identity be connected to that.
yeah.
I let my financial ability to be connected to that.
It was our livelihood.
I let them define me rather than making those determinations.
Yeah.
I think it's been really interesting to find out a little bit more about the politics of the organization. Again, we're not here to slam. We've all made mistakes. We've all made choices. But the bottom line is, like, there's a problem, and a serious problem with the organization. So we're just thankful that our journey has brought us together.
Mhm.
And if y'all have any questions or would like to further discuss anything, weleftlegalism@gmail.com. And we'll put some more links. Please like and or subscribe to this video. And thanks for joining us. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
So they're going to turn us off. But again, pleasure to be with you all today. Hope this helps in some way.